Kayla, we are glad to have you as you battle those dirty dish demons tonight at 9. No. But welcome to the green room. You got a few minutes to finish up those dishes, grab a drink, grab something to nosh on. Maybe it's a little late for that. I don't know how you're like. Get ready for a show. We got one coming up. As always, here in the green room, we're listening to White Bat Audio. Check them out. They're on YouTube, too. I listen to them at least twice a week, if not more. Typically more, because I've got them on in the background. Here's the thing. John Carpenter couldn't pull that name last time. Very John Carpenter vibes. Some people don't like it this dark, but, it's all good stuff. So, enjoy it. White Bat Audio. What is up, Tony? Welcome to the green room. Glad to have you. Take your seats. We'll be learning how to work at a Chuck E. Cheese. I'm a little bummed it's not the 90s, but I've got some stories for you because your old buddy Dave used to work at an indoor, very lowbrow indoor amusement park for children. We'll get to it right after we're out of the green room. That's why we're here, Tony. We're here to help. It's like if you want to become a cop, you can apply and they'll put you through the academy, but you're more enticing if you go and pay for that damn thing yourself. You do the private academy, get your little certificate, and just hire your ass. They don't have to spend money on it. So yeah, I'm solving all of your problems. Well, most Chuck E. Cheese related problems solved tonight. What's up, Matt Willis? Welcome to the show. It's the green room, so just sit back, relax, chill out. It's going to be a good one. Oh boy, okay folks, so you probably saw the thumbnail, the title card. Even if you didn't, there's pizza involved. We're going to be learning about it. It's the worst decade that I've been alive through. We'll talk about it in a sec, obviously. We got to get the show started first, so why don't you guys listen to this?
Dog. Cat. Mouse. Turtle.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
welcome to the show. My name is Dave. It's FFOP Radio. It's Wednesday. That's when we got our show going on. Let's get everything out of the way as we do usually. First of all, there's Jameson's name up there. He's the winner from the last commercials and trivia thing we sort of got going on. So there he's at. Got himself a new shark sticker. It's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but it's a corgi dressed as a shark. I ran out of shark stickers.
It's adorable.
My co-host and producer, Krista, is right there.
Hello.
So, what do we got for you tonight? Boy, oh boy, something incredible. It's from 2007. Right?
I graduated high school in 2006.
From 2000 to 2011, it was rough. Like, until the aughts, the 80s, I think, got the worst reputation for, like, fashion. Then the aughts came along, and boy, oh boy, yikes, terrible. And, that's the thing. It was kind of like a springboard from the 90s. They just took the things that were cool in the 90s and either did the exact opposite or blew out the concept. So we'll get into it. It's rough.
Kayla heard almost nothing in the green room. Corgi, congrats, Jameson.
Corgi, congrats. So let me get everything set up for you. We're going to be learning how to work, form a career at a Chuck E. Cheese. So let me get this all going here.
Thank God for this training video.
Like, I only watched a little bit of it because I didn't want to spoil it for myself. I like to get a little... You don't remember winning, Jameson? I mean, it was so long ago.
You ended up with like 137 points, I think. And then, because we did one trivia round, and then it was the trivia for the training video.
Yeah, you're going to have to check the tape, but...
Check the footage.
I'm pretty sure it happened that way. I was thinking about doing trivia for this little bit of training, but, I just want to sort of experience it with you guys. Maybe I'll consider a career change and work at a Chuck E. Cheese. Can you find them? I don't know.
Not here.
We might have one in Arizona. So, fuck yeah, Fosco, here we are. My brother in photography, Canon shooter.
Stepbrother.
Stepbrother. Yeah, we're stepbrothers. I'm not kind of your Canon. I mean, we're like kissing cousins.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, buckle up. This is from November of 2007. If the
nice. I was a freshman in college.
Right? I don't know. Let's hear. Whoa, what's going on? It is muted for some reason. Let us not waste a second.
Back that up.
I don't want to not hear a thing. Okay, listen.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, I'd like to welcome you to your first official day as a Chuck E. Cheese's StarCast member.
I quit.
Give yourselves a hand.
Already this is too much. Really quick. What do you think the median age of an employee at Chuck E. Cheese is? I kept, as I was going through this in my head, I was thinking...
Median age?
Or mean?
No, median, okay.
The middle? What do you think the average age? I'm saying, because in my head I was thinking 16-year-olds mostly are going to be working at Chuck E. Cheese's, with your older people being your managers. So yeah, I think Matt's probably right. It probably skews 19 to 24 with the, on the bell curve, it'll be 19 to 24. In reality, it's probably 12 kids between 16 and 18 and 2 adults.
Yeah.
7 years before Five Nights at Freddy's. I was getting horrified the shit back when... Now, really quick, not to digress too early on. I mean, we haven't actually done literally anything yet. But I came across this as an adult because as a child I knew it as something different. The Rockafire Explosion, that band, that animatronic animal band with the gorillas on the keyboard, and there's a dog and another bear and a lady, whatever. You all saw it, Rockafire Explosion. In Arizona, that was set up in a Pistol Pete's Pizza.
Oh.
So I always knew them as a Pistol Pete's Pizza, and Pistol Pete's was just like, I guess maybe just something locally owned, and the dude loved, the Showbiz Pizza Bear and everybody that he bought it and didn't want to change the name from Pistol Pete's.
Huh.
Because it was pretty great. Like here in the Southwest, Pecos Bill-esque figures go far, and so Pistol Pete was this, huge headed cowboy with the mustache and a big hat, and he had a tiny body, and he shot pistols. He looked like Tex Earnhardt or any other of these, cowboy type dudes who sell shit in Arizona. But yeah, I didn't know that they were not Pistol Pete's property, essentially. Not people, but they were robots.
Yeah. It's never too early.
Thanks for being a part of my team. You have a huge but fun responsibility.
You have a huge butt.
When you come to work, it's like you're on a magical stage called Chuck E. Cheese's.
I'm glad I could have
Our guests
that
want
for
a
you, man.
magical experience, and that's what we give them.
But
No
seriously,
matter what
he's too old to do it now. They'd probably stomp his ass into the dirt. But Tex Earnhardt was selling Chevys and Fords and Chryslers my entire life from the back of a giant steer. And he'd say, come down to Tex Earnhardt Dodge, Earnhardt Ford, Earnhardt Chevy. It's like, blah, blah, blah. That ain't no bull. And he's like, to this day, we can drive by the Earnhardt dealership and the giant bull parked out front.
Yep. Sometimes it moves around.
If you're on location, it's showtime. Have fun making magic.
It makes some magic.
I like the fonts.
Did I make that thumbnail?
Yes.
Chuck E. Cheese's. Are you ready for a great orientation? We have put together this DVD and flip chart to make sure you have a thorough orientation and a clear vision of your part of this team.
Nice
We will
hair.
review the key points you will learn. Company
Century
history,
Gothic
our purpose,
font right up here.
Magic and hospitality, discrimination and harassment.
See, this,
responsible alcohol service.
it's 2007.
They have booze at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah. Some people call it their downfall. They started selling beer. And yeah, I can't see anything going wrong with a bunch of hillbillies bringing their children into a confined space and then getting pissed. Anyway, whatever. All the aesthetics here are terrible, right? It's not zany enough to be 90s. It's not sleek enough to be modern. It's that terrible 2000s fonts, his hair, the dress, everything is just the early 2000s was I don't know, man. When I was a kid, I remember a lot of gelled hair, but the early 2000s brought that in with a vengeance, especially spikes and frosted tips and shit.
I dated my first boyfriend.
I get you, Jameson.
He had the bleached tips on
Didn't
his
we all? I did.
hair, but his hair was so gelled on the top, flat though. It wasn't ever. Sometimes it was spiked, but it was so hard
Everybody
and
here's the thing.
crunchy.
Everybody who tried to do that look but couldn't pull it off looked like Ryan Gosling.
Safety and security and appearance standards. There will be quizzes after each section, so make sure you pay close attention.
Oh, shit, you guys
A
better get ready.
specific training program has been designed for new customers like you, which includes videos.
Yo, girls had I called it. There was two flavors where I went to high school, because that hairstyle hit big. It would be a red and white, or a red and blonde mixture, or a black and blonde mixture, which was the strawberry shortcake, or at least that's what I called it, because it was typically a bright red and streaks of blonde all throughout. And the black and white always hit me like a skunk. So the red and white, super appealing to me. Liked it. It was too fucking trendy and everybody had it. The skunk one, I could take or leave depending on how much black to white there was. Because if you were too much white, definitely a skunk. But if you just had a spot here or there, you could pass it.
Manuals, testing and validation, so that you will feel confident in taking care of our
You'll
guests.
feel invalidated.
Remember, your manager can answer any questions you may have.
Probably
They are here for you.
not.
As you train for your specific
look at all
area,
those
it's a good
pins.
idea to review your training material the night before so
Those
you'll
are
be
like
well prepared for
dinosaurs
the
and
next day's
stuff.
training. After
It's
training
cool.
with your Team 2 trainer,
I'll have to show you guys my pins one day. I mean, not that you care, but this guy might.
you'll be tested on each area that you complete. A passing grade is 90% or above, so be sure to pay close attention to your trainer.
High
Damn.
standards.
The next step is validation. This is training-
90%.
All right, look at her flare, though. Holy shit. This bitch is a Chuck E. Cheese all-star.
Yeah, that's why
She's coaching the coaches.
Yeah, she's
Time
holding that
set
fire
aside
extinguisher.
when you practice what you've learned with your trainer, so you'll be ready to take care of our guests on your own.
The flariest
All cast members are revalidated twice a year to ensure that any product changes, which might have occurred, are reinforced and that all other standards are refreshed. Your manager
Damn,
will
we
give
do
you a copy
yearly,
of the CEC handbook.
like
Please take it
annual
home with
learning
you.
stuff.
It's your
I'm not sure what. Like, is this just for someone's, like, a kid on the floor getting tokens and serving pizza? Like, how far up the food chain are we, I wonder? Because it feels less like, you know.
You want to express yourself?
Yeah, hey, get yourself a lanyard. And here's the thing, Etsy, they sell them, you know, some old grandma up the road just found her on Etsy, makes them out of those big, wide-ass, like, they're as wide as those seatbelts we had in the 80s. Tons of pins. I got one over there. Pins all over the damn place.
It's yours to keep and to refer back to.
CC,
Take time to read it and
yeah.
ask questions if there's something you're unsure of.
That's where kids can be
You'll
kids.
be asked to sign and tear out the front page, indicating you've read, reviewed your copy of the handbook.
It's got a case of the
Our
Mondays.
goal is to make sure that you get the best training possible so that every guest leaves happy and you can have a great time while you work.
Whether
Good
you're miserable or not, those kids are going to leave happy. Like,
Nah, I don't know. But, you know, most professional meetings take place at a table that also shares a shaker of Parmesan cheese.
luck and have fun. Now here's our president, Mike Maguziak.
This is our cousin,
Welcome
Mr.
to
Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese's. I'm Mike
They couldn't give him a second take on that one.
go to
They
Chuck E.
just-
Cheese's.
Can I go back like just a hair? Dang it, no.
Well, why'd you click it like that?
Well, because it does it sometimes. It
Maguziak,
works.
president of the company.
All right, be quiet, Mike Maguziak. Oh, good Lord. But yeah, I'm sorry. I know people probably hate everything I do on this show, but I've got to watch
Our
this
president,
again.
Mike Maguziak.
Welcome to Chuck E. Cheese's. I'm Mike Maguziak, president of the company, and I've been a member of our team since 1987.
If you have dry, red eyes,
1987.
Join the
Don't
leader.
compare him to Ben Stein. Ben Stein does not need this.
In the restaurant and entertainment industry,
he
and I
sounds,
hope
talks like this guy, slow and weird.
From the person who says that everybody looks like Gary Busey, we're just gonna
And he
move
looks
on.
like
that
Gary
you have a fun and
Busey.
reward
I mean, you're lucky that he
career
kind of
at Chuck E.
does.
Cheese's.
He looks more like Jake Busey.
We have a unique ability to touch the lives of children. They love to hug Chuck E. Cheese and have a fun and interactive experience with their family and friends, playing our games and watching our show and enjoying our delicious pizza.
Chucky gonna bite him.
Our operating
Modern day
objective
Gary
is that
Busey.
every guest leaves happy, and I believe that you'll
Why are all the signs like freeway overpass signs? Am I missing something? Did you guys catch like they were on the freeway to success or something?
No idea.
make the difference. So take great care of
Doesn't
our
this
guests.
guy seem like
and
the
have
kind
fun
of
at
kid
Chuck E.
that
Cheese's.
you just
Now here's the
knew
Chief
you didn't want to be
Executive
around
Officer
ever in
CEC,
grade school?
Frank.
Yes, discount Vince
Insight.
McMahon. Nailed it,
Oh,
Fosco.
there you go.
That's Mince.
Ah.
That's Mince McVan.
Chuck E. Cheese's, we have taken the time to articulate key
Frank.
values that we have chosen to embrace as an organization. We believe in the inherent worth of the individual is one of those values.
Oy.
Now, what does that really mean? Simply stated, it says we believe in each and every person, all people.
No one believes in second takes and or punctuation and or even direction.
No.
Like they'll let these motherfuckers like have long pauses in between words where there is no period. And the guy behind the camera is like, yeah, great. Wait, what was this place called? Chuck E. Cheese's? Oh, okay, cool. Cut, print. We're rolling.
Can I be a dick with you,
We
Frank?
care about
I'll be
people,
frank with you,
every
dick.
person,
This
any
guy looks
person.
like a chicken
There
McNugget
doesn't need
touched
to be a
mutagen.
business connection or
Right.
reason. It's just that at Chuck E., we want people who care and respect one another, our guests, and anyone else they may encounter.
Homeless people on the street.
Secondly, we believe our greatest asset is our people.
Oh, look at that
Yes,
font.
most, if not
Mr.
all, companies
Beans.
say this, but we understand that it is
It's
people
terrible.
who ultimately make the difference. Any company can spend money
Yeah,
for
God knows
nice
their
buildings,
pizza isn't going to change the hearts and minds of millions.
It's true.
but
the
what
beer
sets us
might have
apart
helped.
Is you, the quality of our people. Thirdly, we demand of ourselves and the others we deal with the highest level of integrity.
Here's the thing,
Low
guys.
integrity.
Oh God, there's so many things that I wanted to tell you in a very short amount of time. Because, like I said in the green room, I used to work at an indoor amusement park. The original name of it was Jungle Jim's Playland. Later rebranded as Jeepers Creepers. They just took all the old animals, funkified them for the fucking 90s / early 2000s and yada, yada, yada. And like, you've been into a Chuck E. Cheese, right? Like, there's no rides, basically. It's just games and then this
animatronics stuff.
Animatronics. And maybe someone walks around in a costume. I received 0 video and or audio training, and I was working rides that could maul children. Like bumper cars and the carousel and the little Jeeps on the little track and the spinny thing and the rocket ships. Like, I basically, like...
The indoor carny.
I was, it wasn't hard to get a job as a 16-year-old at an unskilled job. And my friend worked there, so I was like, cool, get me a job. And he goes, okay, great. Here's how you work this. This is the button for stop, and this is the button for start. Don't get it mixed up, because ha, ha, ha. And that's how they basically all were. And they all had, like, those little foot things in it, so if you did step away, the ride would shut off in case, like... a kid got sucked under a bumper car and you ran out to get them, it would automatically shut everything down so you would not be still battling the other bumper cars and shit.
Well, that's good.
But again, no training. And like, it wasn't, maybe that's why they're gonzo too. But like, this was the type of establishment where parents would lift up their anywhere between newborn and 1-year-old and like change their baby's shitty diaper on like one of those big NFL Blitz cabinets and just leave the package.
Nice.
Jesus, it was insane. And, way more complicated than this. I got 0 training. However, I was supervisor in under 3 months. So what does that tell you? The place was run like a shithouse if they were willing to promote me.
As long as you're trained to use duct tape.
Never, ever compromise your integrity. How you get results does matter.
What results
Teamwork
are you
is
looking
also
for
a
at a Chuck
critical
E.
value
Cheese?
At our company. Working together
Right,
doesn't only
it's
bring
like-
out the best in all of us, it brings out
They
the
seem
best
confused
in
as
each
to
of
who
us.
their employees are
And
going to
lastly,
be.
Yeah.
life is short. Have fun playing on a great team. Take these values to heart. Make sure they are part of you because they are definitely a part of us.
Of you.
I would
Bring back
encourage
Vince
you to
McMahon.
reread the company values from time to time. Reflect on them and come to understand their true meaning. They should help to guide you through your career. with
Listen
our
to
company.
Grandpa Dave tell
Without a
another
commitment
back
from
in
each of
my
us,
day.
they can't
Yeah,
be.
well, back in my day, we didn't have all these newfangled, oh, God, too, man. And, like, maybe that was the thing, too, because I see a lot of parallels now. Like, when I was working at Jungle Jim's Playland, at certain milestones, they would give you pieces of flair and stuff. And I remember it, even, like, as a 16-year-old, I was like, oh, God, what a horrible, like, existence. Like, it's like I have no mouth and I must scream. I don't know if this dude was there enough to realize, like, that he would never go anywhere, but whatever. One dude worked there, and he was one of those guys who went the extra mile and would, like, make all the kids laugh and do all the stuff that you'd expect, like, a really dedicated employee to. But it was coupled with the fact that it was kind of slow and had been there for a decade and not risen above the ranks that I had already transgressed in my first 3 months. However, like, since he'd been there 10 years, like, on the day, like my first week there, they gave him like a leather jacket with like the patch of where we worked on the back. And I was like, what? Where would you wear that? And I'm like, that company probably spent $500 on a leather jacket with Jungle Jim's Playland on the back. And unless you want to ride around somewhere and get your ass stomped by literally anybody.
I mean, he probably wore it everywhere.
But that's the thing. Like, this dude, I don't know what his deal was. Because, like, on the clock, woo, wow, wow, whoa, super fun and happy. Like, as soon as he went back to the break room and came out of there in street clothes, he looked like a little goblin. And he wouldn't smile or look at you in the eye, and he would just book it through the door. It was a strange, strange job.
Words on a piece of paper, but together we can ensure they are not just words, but instead the essence of what makes our company great. What is our business purpose? Our
To
purpose
provide pineapple to every pizza, and for those who don't want it, we ask them to leave because they're idiots.
is to serve the guest, and when we are not serving the guest, we should be serving someone who is. That
So
is
we're
where the
serving
support
someone
center
who's
comes
serving the
in.
guest.
The CEC Support Center
I mean,
is located in
oh my
Irving,
God, there's a support center for Chuck E. Cheese?
Of course there is. Why there's a
It's
support
like,
center for
who
everywhere.
guards the guards or who polices the police? Who serves the servers who serve? You know what I mean?
Texas. Since we are not in the locations
Yo.
directly serving our guests, our role is to serve you. That starts with Mike.
How so?
With myself. Everyone at the Support Center views their role to be in support of you, to serve you, to meet your needs, to respond to your requests, to make your
does look a
job
little
easier,
bit like
and thus
Animal
enable
Collector.
you to ensure
Fava
an
beans and a
outstanding
nice
experience
Chianti.
for your guests. That is the primary reason the Support Center exists. Please don't hesitate to call upon any of us.
We've a proud
Here he is.
Yeah, like anybody making, what was minimum wage in 2007? Like $8 an hour. Anyone making $8 an hour is going to pick up and be like, hey, give me the deflated Vince McMahon. I've got a problem with Chuck E. Cheese says.
and rich history at Chuck E. Cheese's that
filmed
spans
on
over 30
Jesus.
years. We're proud of the past and more excited about
his
the
accent?
future.
Doesn't he look like he's defending his, like, foppish son from, like, a dad who's like, oh, well, what's up with your kid? He's like, I'll have you know, sir, that my kid.
We've got the best
Give that
product
attitude.
and people in the industry and look forward to building more Chuck E. Cheese's in the United States and Canada.
Our first Chuck E. Cheese's opened in 1977
Crafty,
in
yum.
San Jose, California.
Yowza.
Based on the continuing evolution of our concept and our excellent financial results, we took our company public on January 3rd, 1989. We continued to grow our concept with increased comparable store sales and new unit growth.
There wasn't
During
VeggieTales back there?
1998, we changed our corporate name from Showbiz Pizza Time Incorporated to CEC Entertainment Incorporated,
Worst mistake
which
ever.
more appropriately reflects our strong Chuck E. Cheese name brand. Also during 1998, we transferred to the New York Stock Exchange, where shares are currently traded under symbol CEC. Today, we operate over 500 corporate and franchise locations. Your manager
Not no mo.
Citation needed. We probably have a couple. Still, do a Google search. How many Chuck E. Cheeses are alive and well in 2024? A mere, what is it? Fuck, man, that's so long ago. I can't believe it. But still, there's like a couple of Kmart's in New Jersey, and there's a Sears here or there. So there's got to be Chuck E. Cheese's still pumping out cardboard with cheese on it. Oh, are you kidding me with those Lisa Loeb glasses? Hello. Plus, I don't know. Hold on. First of all, Lisa Loeb would definitely have had like big cat eye glasses. This would be, I don't know what she was doing in the early 2000s, but you might be right. She might have transgressed.
As of January 2024, Chuck E. Cheese operates nearly 600 corporate and franchise locations,
Look at that.
as well as over 120 Peter Piper pizza restaurants.
Peter Piper. Oh,
They're
whoa.
located in 47 states and 17 foreign countries.
So they're doing okay. And that's the thing. Peter Piper here was the, what would you call it? They were the competition. Before Chuck E. Cheese had entered my sphere of existence, it was Pistol Pete's and Peter Piper Pizza. And I was like, oh, the dueling Pizza Pete's. Pistol Pete's and Peter Piper.
Yeah, we had a Chuck E. Cheese near us back in Connecticut, but the pizza place we would get every Friday was Peter Pan Pizza.
But this isn't the pizza you wanted ever. You just wanted the games. But, you know, the little,
We never
little
went.
cheeses, the Chuck E. Cheese's was far enough away that I was like, unless we're going there for a birthday party, I didn't give a shit. Because, like, Pistol Pete, since it was, like, locally owned, it was still, like, there was somebody with, like, the Dave Thomas effect. There was a living person, like, whoever Pistol Pete was probably making sure that pizza was still good.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese don't give a shit about you or your family, and he'll kill you if he gets the chance.
will go into more detail about our company history,
Part of their
philosophy,
policies.
and workplace practices using the flip chart.
Put a little Parmesan
Now
on that review.
is a great time to ask your manager any questions you may have before taking
Right, the
quiz number one.
Chuck E. Cheese brand frozen pizzas are produced by a completely separate company that is just borrowing the Chuck E. Cheese logo. Don't eat those. I mean, not that you would. I don't like these page peel swipes that are like playing cards from the middle. Ugh.
Well, how'd you do on that quiz? Hopefully you did great.
How'd you guys
Let's
do?
go over our purpose
You
and
guys nail
magic.
Aced it.
Watch this next section, and I'll see you in a little while.
The news in the background
While
with
Chuck
the
E. Cheese's
fire.
has had a storied past,
That's
our
a
future
video
will be
game.
determined on how well
Oh.
we take care of our guests. Throughout your training, you will
A little bit awkward. Like, because it's just like, hey, we're filming something. Could you do that again? Like, no second takes. Dude's like, hey, man, give me 5. The kid's like, what does that mean? He's like, slap my hand with your 5 fingers. And he goes, huh? And he goes, just hit my hand with your hand. He goes, oh, maybe edit that
Did
out.
it.
we'll hear a lot about
Chuck E. Cheese
making magic
me up.
for our guests. Making magic
eat
is simply
6
going
grams
out
of
of your way
frozen
to do the
Cheetos pizza.
unexpected. Sometimes it's as small as wishing a child a happy birthday, or even helping mom or dad carry
letting
all
them
those birthday
score a
packages to their
goal.
car. No matter how big or small, magic is what keeps them coming back.
Wow, that sure was
Jesus.
fun. You'll be hearing a lot about making magic here at my place. Road shows and ticket splashes are
Here's the thing, Kayla. I don't think DDR is for this demo. I could be wrong, but by and large, DDR is for, your 13 and up. The kids are going to be long past the Chuck E. Cheese birthday.
just a couple of ways I make magic.
Citation needs
I wonder what you could do to make those magical moments for our guests.
slip
This is
on some
creepy.
drugs. Are you guys familiar with Quaaludes? Oh, it does sound like Quagmire a little bit. Hey, yeah, whoa! I should have a mascot voice opportunity at some point.
Yeah, now that's magic.
Hey, it's me, Dervis Dowse. Whoa!
Tom Likas.
Tom Likas. I've been cashing checks and porking butts. Tom Likas. This is insane.
I can't reach the soda. I'm
She didn't have the
two.
lid off of her cup. What was she expecting to do?
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now, a large theme park, because even like the little one we had a few costumes that we'd break out with the Jungle Gyms Playland people every once in a while. And with the bigger ones, those things got to be cleaned all the time. But how often do you think like a Chuck E. Cheese outfit gets professionally cleaned or even like half-acidly cleaned? And here in the Valley of the Sun, I can't imagine the funk growing inside of that shit.
They get them cleaned the amount of times a year they get training and retraining, so every 6 months.
That's better than nothing, I guess, because as long as you don't puke in it or whatever, you're probably okay.
Mm-hmm. I think if I was going through this employee training, I think as an adult man, I'd just stand up every time the puppet was on screen talking to me and I just yell, I'm better than this.
Right? How can you? It's so. I get like the idea behind it, right? Like, whoa, it's me, Chuck E. Cheese. But like, even as a 16-year-old man, I would be very salty having to
Right,
sit
we're
through
here to
this.
work, not be entertained by a...
And P.S., I don't need a couple of jackasses, bad actors, bad readers, bad whatever they are. They're bad at everything. Like, be like, hey, pick up the phone and call me anytime our corporate flagship motto isn't met by the customer's server, you serving their servers. I go, what the fuck are we doing here? How do I make pizza? Where are the coins? Where's the key to get into the games that spit out the tickets so I can fill them back up? Training over.
Right.
Start spreading the news, people. Want to be a part of it? Chuck E. Cheese.
All right, that's some serious
I'm gonna
magic.
let all these balloons go. Maybe they'll
we have
choke
two
a
rules here at Chuck E.
sea
Cheese.
life or something.
The first rule is that every guest leaves happy. And the second is that we have fun while we work. So, Mike, why don't we call them guests?
Try whistling.
Well, a visit at Chuck E. Cheese's is like attending a huge party. When you
And you're not gonna live here, so you're our guest.
Your guests have a great time. It's the same thing at Chuck E. Cheese's. Making our guests happy is our #1 priority. If you had the opportunity to talk to many of our guests,
Why does this kid need so much help? Like, he's got his own personal referee following around. He doesn't know how to give high fives. Like, this was the most photogenic kid you could find for this. I realize this isn't like advertising material, but do you want everything like in this to come across as like, oh, all the kids are going to be slow. They're not going to know what balls are. They're not going to go how to high five anybody. Just
Even that, why are employees allowed to touch children? And where are the parents?
It's 2007, so don't worry about it. The Catholic Church is still above reproach. Just, citation needed. And this kid needs a lot of help. He is the only kid to show up, by the way, except for his little sister back there. And you can see the grandma being like, shut up. This is your brother's time to shine. We need this Chuck E. Cheese money.
you'd find out Chuck E. Cheese's is more than just a visit for fun and games. It's a special occasion. There are a lot of special moments in a young child's life. It
This
could be
child
a visit to the
specifically,
doctor,
he's our only customer.
a first trip to the dentist, a reward for good grades at school, or a birthday. Whatever the reason, it's a special moment, and it's up to us and you to create that magical
Morley,
moment
we're
that makes
about
the memory
computer
for a lifetime.
predators in 2007.
Remember, it's up to
yeah.
you to create the magic. Without it, We're just another pizza place.
You might be asking, what if
Hardly.
a guest isn't happy? On those rare occasions where you may encounter a guest complaint,
Recommend beer.
all you have to do is remember, slam.
All you
Smile,
have to reduce.
listen, apologize, and get your manager. Your manager is trained to handle the rest. Remember, it's up to all of us to make sure every guest leaves happy. Now let's watch a clip about hospitality.
Let's. Now that's hospitality. God. It kind of bums me out that every piece of art that flies past the screen looks like something I made. And I don't like that.
That font, the Making Magical Memories or whatever it was, looked like the font from, like, remember Proud Family?
No.
The font from the Proud Family.
No. That was beyond my days. This is...
Where are these kids' parents?
This is one of the most tone-deaf pieces of material I've ever seen. Like, everybody here is like some corporate stooge because they're wearing like a white collar and cuffs. They threw some fucking flair on them and they're like, okay, now pick up kids and move kids around and smile at kids. But like everybody is moving around like they're a fucking robot.
I'm sorry. I would never allow somebody to pick up our son when he's 2 years old.
Yeah,
like,
well, P.S. These parents are getting paid. It's not like some jackass is this like
understand
the
that.
real manager. But are you kidding me? Like, yeah, sure. We get. Oh, I've never let it. Other people like those pageants for babies. That's disgusting. I mean, I'd rather have my son picked up by a corporate stooge and carried across the room for $1,500 and to have like, the implications.
The implication.
Oh God, the kid's sad.
Well, here we are, Dennis. Chuck E. Cheese has been around for a long time. Well, nearly 30 years.
30 years. That's unbelievable, Todd. And you know what? In all that time, Chuck E. Cheese has been widely known as the leaders in the industry when it comes to providing food, fun, and games, all at a reasonable price.
Yeah, and don't forget, we also offer great service.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, right.
What?
There you go.
One take pony, the Chuck E. Cheese motto. Like, hey, did you fuck up your line? Yeah, dozens of times. Cool. Lock the gate. Moving on, man. Like, were you talking and or walking? One of them?
Keep
Great.
rolling. Keep rolling. We only have an hour and a half.
P.S. So, not for nothing also, but like, I assume that hand stamp thing was akin to what we used to do, where I would have 2 rolls of stickers tied together, where you'd stick one on a kid, you'd rip off the equivalent and give them to the parent, and if their numbers match, you go, great.
Bye.
You guys know each other, and you can fuck off. And was it a great system? No, because, kids lose shit, parents lose shit, so the fail-safe was I would go, is that your parent? They would go, pretty much yes, because kids aren't going to walk out with someone who isn't their parent.
Right.
And I never had someone try to steal a kid. So,
well, that's a plus.
Yeah, I mean, I would have tackled his ass to the ground if he did, but nobody ever even tried.
And you were ready.
Yeah, I was ready.
In Staten Island, when I was a kid, we had Whitey Ford's Grand Slam, where we played arcades, ate pizza, and stared at lipsticks. The adjacent strip club. I'm wondering what it was like in there.
Yo, that kind of reminds me of the Oregon Stop Pizza we have out here. There was no strip club across the street, but it was one of those places where it wasn't necessarily fun. It presented as fun because it's just a giant organ in a building and they had a small arcade. But, a few show tunes can make you forget your troubles for a little while.
You sound disappointed that no one tried to steal a kid.
Yeah, we ordered sausage.
They could have just tried.
Man, that's unbelievable. Good service just isn't good enough anymore, Todd. You know that? I mean, were you blowing away at Kid Shack, Cash, or are they delivering this wrong pizza?
I was not blown away by Kid Shack. He didn't even check which one of us was the kid. That's what I'm getting at. Which one of them was the kid? Right? Because when they check their stamps, they go, is this your daddy? And the guy with hair is going to have to go, yep, that's my dad, to the bald dude. And he'll be blown away by that.
It's down-home, genuine hospitality that's going to keep our guests coming back. I mean, imagine if we treated people like that in our own homes.
I mean, down home. Stamping their hand. Let me think. Woo! Stamp my hand. Stamp my hand.
Hey, man. Let's, you did want me to come over, right? Didn't you?
Don't say, how would you expect to be treated in your own home and then have a Scooby-Doo, like, diddly-doo moment where you're being invited to a friend's house? Right, guys? Right? Like, this isn't his home. He's not going to be treated like family. He might just have an asshole friend. If you're going to say this asshole friend is like Chuck E. Cheese, I don't see where we're going.
But if I...
P.S.
Okay.
Were lav mics illegal in 2007?
Yeah. Drinks in the fridge? But don't get up. I'll get it.
Look at that old man hand. Like, that is a 24-year-old douche nozzle. Like,
no, that's the bald head guy's son. He went to his son's house.
But, he said you wanted me to come over. Why would you be like, hey, Dad, come over while I... This is not presenting as like a father-son scenario.
None of this is presenting as anything.
Wow, Chucky, I'm not so sure I'd come back if I was his guest. Dick and Mike say that great guest hospitality is the secret to an increase in sales.
I'm
it's
not
delivering
sure
an
I would go
unforgettable
back
magical experience
to
to
the
every
house.
guest, on every visit, every opportunity. But what's the difference between average service today and magical
No stamp.
hospitality? Chuck, let me ask you. With the service standards today, it seems like it's easy to be the best in terms of hospitality. So how do we get started?
Well, it starts with our number one cornerstone, make magic. Without it, you won't be able to achieve our operating objective of every guest leaves happy. The magic begins when we understand that we are here to take care of every guest. Not most of the guests,
all of these
but
awkward
every
dudes,
guest.
like...
See, the magic is complete when every guest feels like they
She
have been
seems like a
welcomed,
normal person.
served, entertained, and thanked with genuine hospitality.
Okay, but really, what is magic?
Magic is creating
Right, this is the Chuck who's been strucken with like a Bob Dole-style stroke, so he's like, meh.
a fun and caring atmosphere for our guests. It's providing service to our guests with genuine hospitality.
Okay, so how do we really define what service is?
Well, service is just the basics of each job function. It's the minimum of what we do and what we say to our guests.
Well,
Which is what we're committed to, the minimum.
well then, what's the difference really between that and hospitality?
Hospitality?
Okay, really quick, if you've been there, you know what I'm going to talk about, but doesn't this feel like a sketch you would experience at like a vacation Bible camp? Like, replace Chuck E. Cheese with Jesus, and are you not uncomfortably sitting on a linoleum or thinly carpeted floor as adults who are poor actors try to talk to you about the saving graces
Oh
of
yeah,
the good Lord?
same thing with like Dare.
Fucking crazy.
Is going over the top. It's doing and saying much more.
Over the top by
It's
Sly Stallone?
personalizing each guest's visit. It's doing and
Yeah.
saying things that make them feel special. It's how we perform our job functions. It's cordial and generous treatment
Classic
of our
functions.
guests. What makes a great guest experience is different for everyone, you know. First, we need to identify the guest's needs and desires and what they really came to Chuck E. Cheese's for.
The pizza,
Guest judges
probably.
4 key areas. Product quality, that's the food and entertainment. Service, atmosphere, and value.
But
The
wait, what
opposites are
service? I still
largely
don't
determine
know.
Value. And value, quite simply, is the experience divided by the dollars they spend.
Right, Todd. I mean, our adult guests love Chuck E. Cheese for
Now it's starting to give me, like when you ever get called into jury duty, they need you to give you like a crash course on civics and like the basics of the law and like what is a jury and all this other stuff. Like all of these, like it's just whatever. I'm sure because they have to have a net that catches all idiots. But as a functioning, semi-normal human being, it's always wildly insulting to have like, what is value? Well, it's the amount of money over the experience I had. Like, we know what service is. We know what products are. We know what food is. I know what a pizza is. I can identify a pepperoni out of a line of objects. Like, maybe it's just me. Like, did you guys ever consider what value was? And did this help you?
Steal their kids, then give them back. Mom and dad will leave feeling like heroes.
Yeah. Be like, hey, good news, I found your kid.
Especially the restrooms and the toddler
Be a hero.
Absolutely. And our guests love us for great pizzas, sal bar, and service. But you know, Todd, it's even more than that. It's that we care. As a cast member at Chuck E. Cheese, it's up to us to ensure that each guest feels important and that we care, that we truly care about their experience. Remember,
if you're not going to get a lav mic, right? Presumably they have control over the shooting situation. Like I assume everybody in here is a paid actor or a family member or a friend. So if you're going to be like, okay, we can't afford microphones, we'll just do the on-camera mic. It'll sound like dog shit, but whatever. It's training videos for our 16-year-olds. Maybe if you're not going to buy the mics, the free thing you could have done would have been like, hey, fucking people in here, we're going to start talking into a camera. Keep moving, but shut up.
remember, we don't serve millions of guests each year. We serve our guests one at a time. Now that's a magical experience.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to focus on 3.
You worked for Disney, Thomas? We're going to hear about that someday. I hear that's a wild, whatever. Disney is one of those things where, like, you can join a cult about it, you can hate it, you can love it, or you can spend the rest of your life watching documentaries about it. I'm somewhere in the middle.
I know a couple people. I went to high school with a girl who became a princess. I think she was Belle. And then I know a girl who works down there at various things. Like, she doesn't do, like,
I wouldn't mind. Like,
costumes.
I like the idea of that, but I also hate the idea of, like, being a part of some giant conglomerate, which I'm sure, like, they have a dozen eyes above you at varying levels, making sure, I don't know. Like, I'm not even in a huge company, and, like, the stress of a few people having to, like, double check my shit gives me, like, Disney, man, that's huge.
Yeah.
3 key hospitality points. It's really this simple. First, delivering first-class service starts with making the guests feel welcome, using the 5-10 rule.
That's true, Jameson. Cheers me up sometimes.
With any guest within 10 feet, and verbally acknowledge.
There are totally people who are super fans living the dream. Mm-hmm.
Let me talk about that really quick, because there are some people out there. I can't be like, oh, I don't do this. Obviously, I do. I take in a fair amount of Disneyland content because it's a fun place, right? And the thing that depresses me is when, like, I'll love a walkthrough of various lands, like a whole Disney, like where someone just puts a GoPro on themselves, shuts the fuck up, and walks around, and I get to go, oh, yay, it's like I'm walking, but I'm sitting on my ass. Then there's, like, that guy, like, I don't want to, like, throw shade, but there are content creators out there who talk to camera and are there every week because that's what their life is, and they give you weekly updates and this and that, and, like, they'll even leave the segments in the video where someone's like, hey, you're such and such YouTube creator. He's like, hey, yeah, man, hey, high five. Because as a person viewing the video, you want to have your focus pulled to some jackass going like, whoa, dude, I watch you on YouTube, instead of being swept away by the magic that Disney has painstakingly crafted.
It's crazy to me. And I follow a couple people on Instagram who are whatever Disney influencers, but they don't go on the rides. They go to dress up to take pictures, right, and like do the walkthrough, but they don't.
The nostalgia, like when you were a kid, you wanted to go there to blast through all those rides and have fun and eat the food and see the characters. Like, as you're an adult and you become one of these Disney adults that are like weird, you just go there to, like, dress up and take pictures and, like, post for Instagram, and, like, you're just taking up space from kids who, like, are building the memories that you are now wallowing in like a pig in shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Fosco, here's the thing, though. Yeah, you're right. Any sort of place is going to be like that, because where I worked, Chuck E. Cheese, Pistol Pete's, Peter Piper, Jungle Jim's Playland, same shit. You got a bunch of kids. They're pulling their feet out of their shoes. They're farting. They're pulling their asses out of their pants. Here's a quick story. When I was working the front door at the aforementioned sticker guard duty, when my back was turned, I missed this kid, like, slip out the door. So I go, hey, kid, where are you going? And before I can even say, hey, kid, where are you kid drops trowel, to the floor, drops his pants or his shorts and underwear to the asphalt, pisses into the parking lot.
Nice. And did he come back inside afterward?
Well, I was like, what the and I'm like looking around for like who
owns this child,
owns this kid. So like this guy just comes out and like he like just comes out the door and he like gives this whole like it's still there's his kid's joint hanging out toward the parking lot, a busy parking lot. And he's like, little Michael, whipping your joint out in public. You know, one day this will be a really serious crime. But let's get back inside. And I'd be like, what the where'd you grow up? I mean, even in a barn, that would be unacceptable.
Just as you would a good friend you pass, making them feel like a valued
He's got
guest.
osteoporosis.
The 5-10 rule. Now that's hospitality.
You getting that
After greeting
chance?
guests in our area, say, have a magical day. You must use this salutation at kid check, cashier, the dining room, and even in the game room.
Basically
as you
everywhere.
Greet the guest or introduce yourself.
You know,
He's trying to get that high five still.
Awesome, not average, and memorable.
Kid walks into the bathroom, you tell him, have a magical day in there.
Have an average day.
Care about him? You know, do we provide recommendations for our first-time guests? Do we recognize our regulars?
I recommend you get some tokens and play some of the games. Other recommendations including eating pizza and drinking soda.
And
At
that's
that
it.
point, we're tapped out.
Oh, and tickets. Get some crappy toys.
That's tied into the tokens.
Now that's
It's part of the ecosystem.
And lastly, when we interact with a guest, we can sincerely say, it's my pleasure, or it's a pleasure serving you today.
You can't make
Basically,
anybody
just a place,
sincerely
you're
feel
welcome, or
anything
even
toward
worse,
anybody
no
else.
problem. With a sincere, it's my pleasure, when a guest thanks you. If our guests experience these 3 items from several of our cast members and managers, what they say, now that's hospitality.
Brought her baby and no other. Oh, there's another kid.
Now that this guy's gonna bring up body language, is like he had no direction. Like he is just checking out, like touching his face. And he's just like that. Like do what this guy's doing. Put your hands together and act like a corporate stooge. Don't be like, whoa, whoa. The hell?
Tells the guest how they're viewed too, good or bad.
It's my
Stand
pleasure.
tall, smile, make eye contact, and when the guest enters within 5 to 10 feet, you're on. It's showtime. So greet them within 3 seconds and make it warm and make
11
it fun.
feet, you
Now, the words
disengage.
you use are also critical. While next, or can I take your order, are examples of average greetings, they are not awesome hospitality greetings. As you talk to the guests during their visit, try using some of these words and greetings instead
Next,
of the ones
bitch.
What
that
up?
businesses use. Now let's see how we can really apply this in our store.
That's jerkin.
Hi, have you ever been to Chuck E. Cheese before? You have? I thought I recognized you. Let me stamp your hand. All right, well, make sure you ask your cashier about how to get free tokens. Have a magical day.
What's the stamp
Welcome
for?
to Chuck E. Cheese. My name is Tony. You guys ready to have some fun?
Tony Pepperoni.
Let's see.
Whoa,
Our family saver
whoa.
looks like the perfect coin for you. That includes
Here
one
we
large
have pizza,
4 soft drinks. Here we go, Mr.
drinks.
Smith. Sign right.
Pizza. Pizza.
Beer.
Karen will be off and running. Thanks a
The
lot.
guest is at her weakest at the eyes and
my
nose. So
pleasure
strike
serving you, Mr.
first,
Smith.
strike
Have a magical
Right in
day.
there.
Gouge the eyes.
A P.S. Again, I understand no lav mics were available in 2007, but then just don't have the guy behind the camera say a fucking thing. It's a forward-facing camera. The mic is facing forward, so you can hear Tony Pepperoni say, "Hey, guess what? Everything's great. Here's a pizza. Sign this." Don't have the guy behind the camera go, "Great, thanks." It doesn't sound right.
I'm your game room attendant, so if you come in with any problems with games, don't hesitate to ask. It's my pleasure to take care of you. And you know what? Just for that, here's a free token for another great game of Super Shot today. Have
Just
a
for
magical
what?
day.
For listening to her talk.
Tony.
Hey, how's it going? Did you have fun in the game room today?
No.
Gnarly.
Wow.
Whoa, you're like small, but your hand is like that of an adult. And you came in without a child? Are you just a fat midget? Radical, bro. Someone's walking out of here with a huffy.
Look at all those tickets. Great job.
You
Let's
can
see
get a
what you
finger
win
trap.
today.
Here's your 8 pretzels.
Already? All right, let me just check your numbers. Okay, 77 and 77.
I only
All
put
right,
one
have a
stamp
magical
on
day.
one person, so thanks, bye.
Did you see that? What a difference the proper body language and greetings make. Treat each guest like a long-lost friend, not somebody you could care less about.
A long lost friend.
Come on in. Good to see you.
Hey, it's the same house from before.
Yeah, different person.
We've been waiting for you.
I'm glad you kicked that shitbag out and moved in, and you're a nice guy. I'm glad we're friends.
Good. Sit on down there.
You're like the
And we're
birds
waiting for
down
the other
there.
guys to get here, but I tell you, you want a Coke? Yeah, sure. Have a seat, man. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let me open that for you. I tell you what, the game's gonna be on shortly.
Listen, those sick birds ain't got shit. Chuck E. Cheese has got bills to pay and mouths to feed, and lots of alimony.
And
A Diet Coke.
We got burgers
Is this
on the
Paul
grill.
Abdul?
There's the old man hand.
You're just making burgers? Yeah, come on in. You hang out. It's just you, right? Doesn't this feel a little weird? Like this dude is like fawning over this other dude. Like, hey, here's a Diet Coke. I got burgers in the back. It's not a party. I'm making multiple burgers for you and me. Like, it's a little try-hardy. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you realized I was right, Thomas.
Yeah, now that's hospitality. And they'll be back. And hey,
He'll be back to his friend's house, especially with all those burgers he's got cooking 24/7.
awesome personality and really let it shine.
These are just a few examples. Don't be a robot. Have some flair when talking with our guests. Make it fun. But don't you agree that hospitality is what keeps our guests coming back time and time again?
Absolutely, Todd. Let's review. There are three
Chuck E.
key areas
Cheese.
that are critically important to our guest experience.
Don't drink that
Pay
Diet Coke.
attention,
Yeah, that wipe was just him losing consciousness, and he woke up with a sore butt.
because everyone is responsible for them, no matter where you work. in
But the
these
hospitality was
four
there, so he kept going back.
5-10 rule. With eye contact, greet them and make them feel welcome.
Count to
Show them
five,
that you
then
care.
count to five
Second,
again.
Have a magical day. Use this as a
I think the guy he was standing next to was supposed to say some of these lines because he was about to talk twice.
to make their day magical.
And
I think there's just no
Bird,
direction.
It's my pleasure. Use this sincerely in place of you're welcome.
If you
can say
rewound
this
it, the guy
just
next to
about
him was
anywhere.
supposed to start talking.
Make the feel for real.
Look at him. He's like, oh, fuck. They're definitely looking at a teleprompter,
Oh, yeah.
and he is lost in the scrolling letters. He's just like, Jesus Christ, look at those alphabet
Rewind it, go
characters.
back, because I want to see his face, because he does it a couple times. He looks over at the president, and he's like,
Let's see.
There are three key areas that are critically important to our guest experience. Pay attention, because everyone is responsible for them, no matter where you work in these four
Like,
walls.
look, he doesn't know what to do with
5-10
himself. He's like,
eye contact.
Jesus Christ, he's like Ricky Bobby with his hands with his face. He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. He doesn't know whether to smile, look concerned, like blink left or right. Like,
Treat them and make them feel welcome.
dude's lost his
Show
damn
them that
mind.
you care. Second,
Kid's
have a
eating purple
magical
ketchup
day.
right out of the bottle.
Use this as a salutation or greeting.
2
in each area.
weeks. Oh, yeah, you're
Don't
right.
just say it.
This motherfucker's trying to sneak onto Mars.
It's your responsibility to make their
Hooray,
day magical.
I
And
win.
Bird,
I'm
it's
the
my
only kid
pleasure.
here.
Use this sincerely in place of you're welcome. You can say this just about anywhere. Make the feel for real.
Now that's hospitality. We are committed to hospitality and a great guest experience.
And now this motherfucker's gonna mouth some shit too. God damn. Whatever. I like. Whoa, one take, maybe. Like that was just the best of the bunch. I really started like they were just like, oh great, read the script. I don't give a shit. That's probably why they had to crop this fucker out, because he kept lip syncing with the other dude.
Every interaction a guest has with our cast, our food, or our facility forms
Bathrooms.
a positive or negative impression of our restaurant. Positive impressions will make the
He's
guest
just
feel
far enough away from the mic that
want
it's
to
like
return.
annoying to hear.
Follow these
He's
steps.
really proud of the
Chuck E.
script because he
Cheese is
wrote it.
Oh yeah, he's fucking nailing it.
to dine.
Making magical memories. Now
Fight
that's
with children.
hospitality.
Over
As
the
a cast
top.
member of this team, you
That's one
make
token?
hospitality feel
Now he has to take a token from this
when
kid.
The guest
Yeah.
wins, we win, and you do too.
Now that's hospitality.
Supermarket sweep.
Oh, and the employees get to share pizza.
As you can see, guests come to Chuck E. Cheese's for many reasons.
Pizza
Our
mostly.
marketing department does a tremendous job of trying to get our guests to come visit us. We sponsor various children's programs on PBS,
They do
run
that.
coupons in the Sunday paper, email blasts, and
So
have
there's
some
an
awesome commercials.
email blast.
That will be up to you to make a difference to
They
every
use
guest who
MailChimp.
visits us. You make the difference with everything you do. No matter
God, look at what Chucky's wearing.
we promise the
The
guests
backwards
a great
hat and the
time, and
later
it's our job
material.
to make sure that we make magic.
Now
Chuck E.
that's
Cheese and his
children.
friends Helen Henney, Jessica
That's all part of Chuck E. Cheese's gold. I'm Hugh Hauser.
T. Jaws.
It feels like
Mr.
this should be the end of
Squally
the.
entertain our guests
but we
7 days
have
a
to-
week. Your manager will let you know the specific hours of operation for your location.
10 to
We are
10.
closed on Christmas Day company-wide and on Thanksgiving in the U.S.
Because
It
in
takes
Thanksgiving
everyone
in
working
Canada, it's in
together as a
October, so we don't do
team to
shit.
ensure that every guest has a magical experience.
Go Cheese.
Okay, you've just seen a little about magic, hospitality, and
Yeah,
how to handle
we're
a guest
halfway.
complaint. Now let's go to your flip chart. Your manager will go into much greater detail about these key
I
items
will, I
for
will,
you.
I promise.
So go ahead and pause the DVD.
Here's your quiz.
This is a DVD. I would love if this had like VHS lines on it a little bit. Whoa, discrimination and harassment. My favorite things to do in the workplace.
Now you need to pay close attention to the next clip, and don't forget about the quiz at the end. At Chuck E. Cheese's, we believe that people are our greatest asset, and that we are committed to ensuring that our people are
Not
treated
pizza?
fairly. We want to make sure that our employees have a great place to work and that it's free of any type of discrimination or harassment. Any employee who engages in this conduct
I've never been sexually harassed, so I don't know how it feels, but you know, it wouldn't hurt to try, you guys.
will be subject to disciplinary action or termination.
So what is
I
harassment?
had 2 parties at Chuck E. Cheese as a
God
kid,
damn.
and it was just to flex for my friends.
Right.
But we all know Chuck E. Cheese himself was at best a toucher.
Right. We went to we didn't go to Chuck E. Cheese. We went to Pistol Pete's for birthdays. And you know, you guys know my affiliation and affliction rather for the tobacco sunburst. Like it was the late 80s, early 90s, and it was the time for that. Like it was rich Corinthian leather on the long bench seats and the long tables, like the very coarse cornstarch they would use to keep the dough separated from sticking instead of flour, because I assume it was cheaper. Like all of the old timey buzzers and bells and shit. Like now arcades feel a little hollow. They feel a little more like casinos because they've all moved from like actual mechanical parts to all just digital stuff. But like it was visceral. Like things moved and stuff would break, and like I don't know, it felt like a different thing.
Tony says, "Be careful what you wish for, candy ass."
Ooh.
There are 2 types of harassment: sexual harassment and hostile work environment. Sexual harassment is anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. One example would be quid pro quo, which is a Latin
Hand job
phrase
for a hand
meaning
job.
this for that.
It's a Latin phrase, guys. It's Latin. You guys didn't think you'd be getting a Latin lesson, did you?
Some examples include basing salary or promotion upon the granting of a sexual
I'll give you $10,000 a titty.
favor or
Mr.
continuing a
Stevens.
personal relationship. To merely imply to an employee that keeping their job is based upon granting of sexual favor or pursuing a personal relationship.
What
Or to
job
state
at
or
Chuck E.
imply
Cheese
that
is
an
worth
employee's
that?
promotion in the company is related to the sex of that employee or the granting of a sexual favor or relationship.
You
This
almost
second type
left.
of
I
harassment
felt
is
like
called
you were in
hostile work.
danger. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of did, because those things put off heat, number one, and they often were like, shit wasn't light in the 80s. Like most of it was still tubes and shit, like CRTs and stuff. Like it was still high voltage. Like now you could probably run an entire arcade. Like when I went to like what was the nickel place called? It's like the Nickel Palace or something. Anyway, it was huge arcade. All their arcade games were a nickel. But it felt crazy to me because those things are power hogs, big CRTs, all that high voltage. Now you could probably run a football field off of, it wasn't Nickel City. It was like a castle themed arcade. So I think it was Nickel Castle or Nickel Palace. I forget. Moral of the story is, the juice you'd have to put out now, you get buy 400 Raspberry Pis or buy 1 Raspberry Pi and farm it out to 1 million CRTs. And you could probably do that for the fraction of the cost. It just felt like, we were working around heavy machinery. Like it was hot. Like on top of all the body heat, the machines were putting off. Like Yeah, radiation? I can't believe I have a kid. I can't believe I wasn't sterilized from soup to nuts from all the shit going on.
Work environment, which is
Grandpa
any type
did
of
it again.
conduct that unreasonably interferes
Nickel in
with
my
Back when I
day.
used to throw my 5 cents into the Nickelodeon for a picture show.
another employee's work or creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Some examples include music with offensive lyrics,
Which you wouldn't be listening
bringing
to.
or displaying in the workplace any materials having offensive content,
Check out my
or
pornographic
telling jokes which
magazines.
include any racial, ethnic, disability-related, discriminatory, or sexual content.
Real quick, when I was an electrician, sometimes we'd get training about this sort of stuff. And nobody did it, right? Like, it was all just sort of a laugh. Like, the joke that springs to mind, I can't tell you because it would get my channel yanked off of YouTube. But these are the same people who are like, oh, yeah, we're all on this sexual equality or whatever. And then you're telling jokes about the hard R around the lunch table. You know what I mean?
As a member of
Strip me of my
CEC,
powers. In my day, a nickel would get you a sandwich. A date with your gal and an Italian would carry you home at night's end.
Yeah, imagine that. Or, you know, if no Italians were available, the Irish.
you should be aware that the
Any
issue of whether
hardworking
the conduct
immigrant.
is considered harassment might depend on how that conduct is viewed by the employee who is subjected to it. This also applies even if the conduct might not have been intended as offensive. Chuck E. Cheese's
I mean, we're all familiar with White Bowser's story, right? Where he accidentally groped a girl. You
harassment
guys know little
policies
cows.
apply not
I was
only
so
to Chuck E.
trying to
Cheese
be nice.
employees, but to our guests and vendors as well. Any StarCast member who believes that he or she has been subjected or exposed to any form of harassment or
I've been
discrimination
exposed.
must immediately report the alleged incident and the
Alleged.
names of the individuals involved to someone with the authority to intervene. A complaint of harassment or discrimination must
Anyone with 6 pieces of flair or more can take a complaint of sexual assault. Anyone below that, they'll have to push it up the corporate
be
ladder.
directed to any one of the following persons.
Me.
Any of your restaurant's assistant managers, or senior managers.
Vice president
your
of
general
HR.
manager, your restaurant's area director or district
Bowser
manager.
is a predator.
Your restaurant's regional vice
You know what I'm
president.
talking about,
Any
Fosco.
human resources manager or director, or the vice president of human
I'm living an anime wife.
resources.
Chuck E. Cheese's has an open door policy. This means that no member of management is ever too busy to discuss any concerns that you have relating to your work
I
environment.
don't trust those people.
Any employee can report an incident of harassment or discrimination by contacting Human Resources at 1-800-224-8257.
Which is all well and good. It's all part of corporate culture that we're all humans. It still feels like anytime I have to go above my pay grade for assistance, it's like a dime holding up a dollar. I don't like doing it. I feel like they're holding it against me, and I do it as little as possible.
Yeah.
All complaints will be treated in a confidential manner.
Oh, yeah. Helium
If you have a
leak.
complaint, an investigation will be made promptly. If the investigation determines that an individual
We're going to
engaged
send out
in
the Chuck E.
conduct
Cheese investigative
violating Chuck E. Cheese
unit.
policy, corrective action will be taken immediately, including the possibility of termination of the appropriate party.
Possibility.
It's very important that you understand harassment and how to avoid a potential situation or resolve one may it occur. Remember that we have an open door policy.
So think about this just really quick. Signs don't exist for no reason. Every time you see a sign, no matter how stupid, it exists because someone did that stupid thing and somebody found it necessary to run it up their municipality's flagpole to get a sign put there. So the fact that they have to spend an entire chunk of this training material on harassment and abuse kind of speaks volumes, although only, by inference or implication. I'm the one inferring. It might not be implicated at all, but it does feel that way.
So feel free to speak to any
That's what
member
I'm
of
talking about.
management or the Human
Signs
Resources
everywhere.
Department if you have any questions or concerns. Every employee at Chuck E. Cheese has the right to come to work and do their job without being subject to harassment.
Take a few minutes to review
I
with
love
your
that, right?
manager the discrimination and harassment section of the flip chart, as well as the employment policies and procedures.
Now's about the time, the first question on the packet would be like, is it right to discriminate? Yes or no? Or like, true or false? You should harass someone about their sweet ass. Like, probably not, unless it's a, especially sweet ass. And they're cool with it.
No, it'll be like, It'll be a whole paragraph. It's gonna be like, Brenda, blah 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 blah. Do you think she should report this to HR, or
No.
who should she report this to?
It's should you comment on your coworker's luscious ass? Yes or no, or maybe, and we'll talk after the class.
So, did you learn anything about our policies?
No.
Do you remember what an open door policy is? Great.
No.
That's
Let's go to
not
the next section,
something to
responsible alcohol
learn.
service.
I've got an open window policy. My door's always closed, but there's always a pie on the sill. And if you stick your head in, I'll gladly chew your ear off and hand you a glass of lemonade. Down home country, Chuck E. Cheese Corporation.
As you know, we are a restaurant where almost
What do you think she is doing right here? She's obviously looking above the candy. She's not counting them. She's not going 1, 2, 3. She's holding them steady and maybe assessing the stability of the eye bolt up there. Does
Maybe she
think
takes
that
the whole thing off and she's putting it back on.
maybe
again?
like it's rated for 14 bags and she knows there's 16, so she's checking the veracity of it. Who knows? I'll take your answers in the typing square, but what do you think's going on back there?
half of our guests are adults, parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Nearly
I'm working on the candy.
all of them are here to eat food, and some choose to have
food?
beer or wine with their food.
God.
We do not promote, advertise, or suggestively sell alcohol in any way. Nor do we permit.
I mean, not to throw shade, but yeah, you're going to put those two behind the beer counter. You're not suggestively selling anything.
Any Chuck E. Cheese's employee to consume alcohol on the premise, whether on or off the clock.
Premise?
Even if the employee is of legal age. It is merely
Even
for
if you're
those
off the
guests
clock?
who choose to have it.
If I worked at Chuck
The
E.
issue is
Cheese,
not
I
whether we sell
guarantee.
alcohol or not, but that we
I'd spend 6 hours of my day shift inspecting the cotton candy.
Not only that, let's just back it up for just a second, because this is the beer counter, right? This is all just taps of Bud Light, Coors Light, Michelob Ultra, and other cheap
And
shit.
wine. They said they have wine.
They're not putting wine on tap, so it's not germane. So you're gonna walk up and be like, "Hey, give me a beer, give me a wine, impulse item. One of those blue bags of cotton candy looks good. I saw you eyeing them, or possibly the anchoring system for them. Either way, I'm into the tune of at least one bag."
serve it responsibly.
Responsibly with
come
both
in.
hands.
We owe it to our guests to have a great time in our restaurants. If they choose to have beer or wine, we must ensure that they don't consume too much and have a safe ride home. After all, we want all of our guests to
chugs
return
down like
again
4 of them
and
right here.
again.
How do you
First
cut
off,
someone
we
off
need
at a
to
Chuck E.
discuss
Cheese?
the legal aspects and liabilities of serving alcohol. Third-party liquor liabilities or dram shop laws state that the server, manager, and company.
It is interesting to see how they probably did, unless she picked it up on her own. She's got that technique where we learned in the Wendy's video.
Oh, yeah, the
right?
head one.
It's good for beer. It's good for soda. Tidbit, so the head is small.
Yeah.
Right? When I'm paying for it, in this scenario, I want as little head as possible. We'll talk about other situations.
Can be held liable for guests' actions if he or she injures himself or herself
Or their
or
selves.
another party as a result of
Nice
becoming
pause.
intoxicated at one of our restaurants.
Which happens
This
a lot.
includes both criminal and civil
This is
liability.
before Uber, so.
That means you can be sued or arrested for not following the laws.
I'm just an
It's
employee.
just not worth it. It is illegal to
Do
serve
the
the following
math.
type of people. Minors, even if they are with their parents.
Really?
Intoxicated individuals or known habitual alcoholics.
You can't
I
serve
can-
them,
I
but
can
do you know?
I can understand the minors and someone who is visibly intoxicated. To garner a reputation where the Chuck E. Cheese's know you as an alcoholic and won't serve you means that you found a sub-cellar in rock bottom. Jesus
There's
Christ.
no
What is up,
penalty
Ryan
for
Maxwell?
refusing to
Hey.
serve someone you suspect
I hope you
is
did
one
bring
of
in
the
that.
Oh,
above.
no, you better have.
It better not be from that fucking bitch Tammy.
Legal serving age. Please refer to the training manual or any other updates to ensure you are of legal age.
Just, okay. I still don't understand the freeway overpass motif, but doesn't this sort of put you in the mind of like the same sort of pre-rendered graphics as like Mist or Riven or whatever? Like from this sign, you'd read a clue and then you'd click left or right and the camera would swing and you'd look out at a beach, or you're going to go look at a car and you're looking for clues about some sort of shit.
Yes. Okay, first I couldn't cup Tammy's ass, and now I have to let Ray down that he can't have another natty ice. Fuck this place.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. If I ever have a business, right, I don't know how I'd feel about sexual harassment because not that I'm against it, obviously. I don't want to stifle young love, right? Because you can find someone where you work, and if you try to flirt with them, that's where you run the risk of them being like, ew, gross, this is sexual harassment, or, oh boy, let me get some of that D or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. I like it's all in the eye of the beholder, because if you go, hey, Debbie, rocking those pants, especially in the ass area, well, maybe not the last part, but that's the thing. Like, you can... You want to protect
There's a fine
people.
line.
I get that. I want people who cannot speak up to be protected, but I also want people who do want to hook up on their own time or whatever, as long as it doesn't affect company business. If they want to bang at the back of the restaurant on their break by the dumpster, I don't want to be in the way of that. I'm a good guy.
Don't shit where you eat.
Age in your
That didn't start
state.
like you.
You're not shitting where you're eating. You're fucking where you're eating. That's totally fine.
That start didn't feel like you were against it.
Or province to pour,
Oh, and Ryan
sell,
Maxwell's
or serve
note is from the
alcohol.
judge.
That
Oh,
means
okay, that's
if you're
fine.
under the age to serve, you cannot check IDs, ring it up, pour it, or serve it.
Eat where you eat.
In some states or provinces, you must be of legal age to eat and clear off cups.
Look at this bitch. She's still checking the veracity. Look at it. Oh, she's back for another beer.
No, this is just a
containing beer while
redo.
blessing a table. If you're
Showing
not
the girl is
old
too
enough,
young to
get
be able to
someone
serve
who
this lady
is.
beer.
Why are you at the beer counter then, bitch? Look at this shit. Unless this is
the everything counter.
No, I refuse to believe that. We just saw a situation.
The menus. Above.
Hold on. We'll probably see it.
This is the same thing.
No, there's that bitch, and then we see some stuff, and then there's a bitch standing in front of pizza. I feel like there has to be, and not for nothing, it would only make sense to have your pizza ordering counter be like where Tony Pepperoni was. You order that shit there. Beer counter needs to be further back. You could also probably order food and shit there, but mostly you're going to be handling beer because your pizza and salad bar or whatever is going to be ordered as soon as you walk in. Or if you're at a birthday party, you're not going to give a shit. You go straight to that beer counter. Say, 2 Michelob Ultras, and then I'll send someone else up so I'll get intoxicated to become a known alcoholic. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. Why
The
is
impulse buy. That's why.
like, here's the thing. I would do this. I'm not the owner or CEO of Chuck E. Cheese. I'm not Vince McMahon. But what I would do is I would just, the structural integrity of this is highly suspect. I would go ahead and chuck that right here where this little change tray is. Get rid of everything here. Just one full display of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit. No Big Red. No wintergreen, no double mint, just Juicy Fruit. That's an impulse buy that I can get behind.
Is there a rule that the
Legal
birthday boy
drinking
gets
age.
around
If you
for
are a
old dad?
cashier of legal age to serve or a manager, it is your responsibility to make sure that the guest is of legal age to consume alcohol.
Which should be pretty easy.
Did you know that many states allow decoy programs that send in underage people to buy at establishments that sell beer? If the cashier fails
If they come in and whack their toe on the banister, you know they're a decoy.
to card that person or the cashier is underage.
Yeah, it is the
both
taste that's going to move you.
cashier
That's
and-
why it would be at the counter. I say, guess what? You feeling drunk? Coffee, that's for suckers. Get some Juicy Fruit. That's the taste that's going to move you out of
the
my
door.
establishment.
And the manager could serve time in jail as well as pay a fine, and the company could lose their
That's
liquor
just
license.
enough flair, Ryan.
It takes all of our efforts to ensure
That's
that when we
corporate
do
flair.
serve alcohol, we serve it responsibly. To be sure guests are old enough, you'll need to start by checking the IDs of everyone,
Numbers
no
and
matter how
letters.
old they appear, and knowing which IDs are valid. A valid ID is one of the following: a valid driver's license with a picture,
A social.
a state or province issued ID with the picture, federal military ID card,
Their birth
a
certificate.
U.S. or foreign
Yeah, if they present you with a TRICARE card, go ahead and grab them a beer.
passport.
In many states,
Here we
it
are
is okay
again.
to only accept
There's the-
your state's driver's license.
She's yanking it this time.
If you do accept out-of-state licenses,
same every
use an
time.
ID
It's the
checking
same
guide to
thing.
ensure that they are valid. When looking to check the
Get your
authenticity
library
of
card.
the ID, have them remove it from their wallet. Look at the state seal, expiration date, and make sure the description matches the person.
Maybe even look at their fat, plump, corpulent 55-year-old body and can I speak to your manager haircut? That might also help.
Do the math.
Do
Ensure
the
they are
math.
of legal drinking age in your state or province. Look for fake or altered information. If you have any doubts, get a manager. Remember, you may serve only one alcoholic beverage per person per valid ID. Blood alcohol content, or BAC, is the amount of
You can get
alcohol in
one
someone's
beer for a
bloodstream.
person, but don't let them get too intoxicated, but they're only allowed one.
If you walk into a Chuck E. Cheese today, you have the potential of 5% alcohol by volume entering your system in the amount of up to 8 ounces.
My God.
Can you handle that shit? Holy fuck. Yeah, I can't imagine like rolling out the barrel to pour 6 ounces of Bud Light into a plastic cup and then sending that poor asshole out into the parking lot to die in a drunk driving accident.
Person drinks faster than his or her body can process the alcohol. It gets absorbed into the bloodstream and begins taking effect. In some states, 0.10 is the legal limit to get a DWI. Most states have.
Remember how we were talking about where signs are posted for a reason? And now we spent so much time on harassment, and now we're like spending a lot of time really hammering in the idea that alcohol has laws attached to it and there will be problems if you fuck up. I wonder why we're going into so much detail.
Have begun lowering that to 0.08 or even 0.05. But how much does it take to reach those levels? It
How
depends.
fat are you?
Let's look at some facts about alcohol.
Do the
One
facts.
drink equals one 12-ounce beer, and one 4-ounce glass of
4
wine
ounce.
equals half an ounce of alcohol.
If the average 150-pound person has one large beer or the equivalent
150 pounds? Who are these people? I mean, aside from me, obviously. This guy's probably rocking 230, 245. 150.
of 2 drinks in 1 hour, they may be as high as 0.05% of blood alcohol content. It takes the body about 1 hour to eliminate the serving of alcohol in one drink. But if the person drinks faster than that, it will begin to be absorbed into the bloodstream and impact.
Am I going to have to tell people this, sir? Like, why do I have to know BAC and how fast absorption is and all the variables from height to weight? Right? Like, is someone going to be like, hey, I want my second beer, and I've got to be like, well, actually, since you look to be about 167 pounds, you're going to have to wait 37 minutes before you can have your next beer.
Yeah, Thomas says I'm not getting
Factor
paid
judgment.
anywhere near enough to make these determinations.
Seriously?
Y'all ain't getting any booze during my shift.
Jesus.
Ryan says make sure clients aren't so drunk they lose their shoe. Hashtag Wongate 2024.
We never get them that drunk because it's impossible.
They must be drunk already. I think I'm seeing pink guitars.
BAC. It's time to stop serving them.
Oh my God, we're
A good
looking at
rule
the
of thumb
chart.
is 1 drink per hour.
Since a guest may order from more than one cashier or party hostess, it is imperative that everyone communicates and is aware of how much someone has had.
That bitch, she's had 1 beer already.
Hey guys, that bitch with the frosted tips, 2 beers. Got it. We're making pizza.
Room attendants and birthday hostesses need to observe cups on the table.
Oh, yeah, I don't wanna
as
give
they
up
are
even
interacting
an
with their
ounce of
guests
my
and
beer.
notify their manager of
How
potential
dare you.
problems. Since you may not be the only one serving a guest, it is important that you not serve a person to the level close to intoxication.
Like this guy.
Remember, you could be held liable. Let's look at the.
And isn't that great to hear? Like a multinational corporation being like, hey, that's on you, bitch. You want to make that $9 an hour? I mean, learn the law, stupid. I mean, what's $9 an hour worth to you? Finding out what someone's blood alcohol content is, monitoring them, regardless of any other duties you have going. Anyone pulls their hat on sideways, kick them out.
Thomas was in the middle of typing out. Can you imagine yelling across the store that you guys can't do it for me?
The warning signs. First stage, alcohol reduces inhibitions. The guests may be loud or
Harassment and discrimination may follow.
overly friendly and annoy others around them. The second stage, alcohol impairs judgment. They may become argumentative or use foul language, especially if you stop serving them. If someone is at this point, immediately notify the manager.
Even that clip of
The third
Cobra
stage,
talking about how he
alcohol slows down.
wasn't allowed to buy liquor at the liquor store because he smelled like booze from the night before. Jesus Christ, Fosco,
Right, yeah,
my God.
But Cobra would definitely be barred from all Casper, Wyoming, Chuck E.
I mean, he doesn't
Cheeses.
have a kid to bring with him, so it would just be even
Right,
weirder.
but like if he's got family, if he could wander in, they go, yeah, I know you, known alcoholic, no beer at Chuck E. Cheese.
Down reaction time. Glassy eyes, slurred speech, increased consumption rate. The fourth stage, alcohol hinders coordination. Spilling drinks, dropping things, stumbling. The manager on duty will not
I just
only
want to
cut
work
them
at a
off,
Chuck E.
they will
Cheese,
also
right?
ensure
I
that
didn't sign up to this is more bullshit than you would get like from a bar.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we all know that all the things that alcohol does, right? Like we saw the whole Red Letter Media and the alcohol quiz put out by Bud and the Anheuser-Busch Corporation. Here's the thing. Adults don't need to tell kids what drugs or alcohol do. They work. They're drugs and alcohol. That's why people use them. If they didn't work, they would be pyramid schemes, right? So to be like, well, alcohol will get you pretty fucked up. No shit. No shit, sir or ma'am. Duh.
Yeah.
Don't overserve them until they're fucking sloppy as shit. Got it. I'm only 17. And P.S. Thanks to the corporation telling me that, like, that's on you, bro.
Right. And like, why would you want to position yourself as a company that ultimately is for children? I understand wanting to like also benefit, quote unquote, benefit the parents a little bit, but like put yourself in that place where bad things could happen if.
Right, but don't put, like, that's the thing. You shouldn't have, like, this should not be on this training video.
No.
This should be for managers. Because if I'm a 16-year-old and someone's like, I want a beer, and I have to check their ID, and I have to pour it, like, what the fuck? What legal loophole is that shit?
Yeah, no, managers should be the only ones that serve alcohol. Like, if there's no manager there, then there's no booze being served.
There's always going to be a manager there. Good night, Kayla. And yeah, it's like being denied, Albertsons liquor because you smell like it.
Yeah.
Or they have a
Good night,
safe
Kayla.
ride home either with a
The
sober
bad
guest
boy
in
of
their party
Albertsons.
or a taxi at our expense. Remember, time is the only thing that helps someone sober up. At any time,
And
if
it's
a guest
also
becomes
money.
violent or abusive to a cast
Give
member
them some
or
pizza.
manager, they are no longer a guest, and it's time for them to leave.
Your guest membership is revoked.
Security or the police if they feel it is necessary.
Speaking of guests and booze and all this other stuff, not that this has anything to do with that, but we were talking about Disneyland earlier. Any number of documentaries out there infinitely fascinating about Club 33 in Disneyland and all their other little parks. Whatever. It must. If you have so much money, it's like, who gives a fuck? Yeah, I'll spend $1 million on whatever stupid fucking thing. But even if I had $1 billion to throw around, like, dropping 7 or 8 figures to like eat a steak in Disneyland behind a door that other people who were too poor to get a steak at, like, I go, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's dumb.
Like, yeah, whatever. Maybe one day I'll drink a $1,500 gin martini because I'm rich off my dumb ass, but probably not because I can't see myself being so disconnected with like value that I'm like, yeah, I'll join Club 33 and keep in mind, it's not even like, because in the documentaries, it's always like, yeah, all these party goers slip into Club 33 for a little fun. When it's like driving to Disneyland, parking, getting through the whole fucking park, and then getting there and be like, that's half your day gone.
Right.
Fucked.
Necessary. Don't touch or try to restrain
Don't
a guest,
touch.
especially if they've been drinking.
Why would you
People
restrain
are
them?
our greatest asset.
Just remember, the Chuck E. Cheese is a fun place where families can enjoy their time together.
Which is why we started
We
offering
must act
booze.
as a team to ensure that they have a great time here and get home safely. Go ahead and press pause to review the
Go
flip chart
ahead.
with your
I
manager.
dare you.
And don't forget, you have an upcoming quiz.
Finally. All these quizzes I've been acing, I feel. This is becoming a very stark training video.
Yeah.
Like it went from
So how'd you
lighthearted
like that
Chuck E.
quiz?
Cheese to like,
Again, I'm
look
sure you did
out.
great. Now
You're
let's
going to be serving people who are going to become violent with you.
It's a dangerous
focus on
place
safety
to
and
work.
security. Our company values cast members.
And not for nothing.
That little girl
I'm
was drunk as hell.
getting super annoyed by the fact that everything in the background is blown out. Like, was, again, no director, but was there also no one looking down the barrel of the lens to be like, hey, maybe, shut the aperture just a hair, increase the shutter speed a little bit so it doesn't look like we're shooting this with no money? We've got 500 stores as of this recording.
Members and guests
Lav
above
mics,
anything
people.
else. Our safety and security guidelines are intended to keep you, our employees, and guests safe. In 1996, CEC implemented a safety awareness program to help educate all cast members.
So what
on
happened in
safe
1995,
working
right?
practices. Key elements of this program are the safety and security training video, monthly safety poster, quarterly safety committee meetings,
New poster
hazardous
every month.
material information program, and a bloodborne pathogen kit.
Bloodborne pathogen
Nice.
kit.
Cast member or manager, we ask you to follow these
God
common
damn.
sense safety awareness
Well, yeah, if a
practices.
kid falls
Clean
and
as you
blood on the
go,
floor, don't
keep
clean it up
floors
with
clean
bare
of
hands.
spills and obstacles. Inform management of any unsafe working conditions.
Not for nothing. And why would it come up before this? But like when I was an electrician, my first boss, we were working on something. He sliced the shit out of his hand on one of those stainless steel outlet covers. And like as he's dripping blood all over the place, he's like, "Be careful, I've got hepatitis." I'm like,
Nice.
"Well, why would you bring that up before?" But like, why wouldn't you bring up that up before now? Yeah, monthly poster.
Yep, it changes monthly. A new safety hazard.
Here's the thing: when you sign up for the monthly poster, you also get subvertively signed up for a subscription to Zoo Books. So every month you get like giraffes in the new safety poster. It's like snakes in the new safety poster.
No horseplay. Handle only equipment you've been trained to operate, and report all injuries to your manager.
At Chuck E. Cheese's, we want all of our employees to work in a safe and secure environment.
She looks happy.
Each
Yeah.
cast member has a personal responsibility in
Blown
preventing
out picture,
accidents
that's
and
cool.
observing safe practice rules and instructions that are related to your working environment. They include the
This
following.
glove is backwards.
Incorporate
Yeah.
safety into every job procedure. Know and obey all safe practice rules.
Yeah, dude, sick.
This
Look,
one's frogs.
here's the insert for every Zoo Book.
Oh,
This is the
Jesus.
first safety poster that comes with chimpanzees.
A monthly safety.
Dude's using a fucking machete to chop lettuce. The cabbage. Completely missed the cabbage. Took off 2 of his 4 fingers.
Nice.
This guy needs to be in a Ronco fucking infomercial.
Poster is provided in the break
Wizard
area
gloves.
to instruct you of safety warnings
Wizard.
and procedures. Report all injuries to your manager, no matter how minor they may appear to be.
The watermelon
I
Caution
stubbed
fellow
my
cast
toe.
members when they perform unsafe acts.
Dell.
Ask questions when there is any doubt concerning safety. Report all unsafe conditions
When
to your
in doubt,
manager
ask it out.
immediately. Attend all CEC-sponsored training and safety meetings. Ask your manager to explain any rules or guidelines you do not understand.
And, we wouldn't blame you because
All
it's
cast
so.
members are required to
deep.
follow and support all procedures and guidelines of the CEC safety program. Failure to follow these guidelines may result in disciplinary action or termination. Remember, we always encourage your suggestions concerning safety in our locations. As you get into the routine of everyday workplace happenings,
grandma's legs.
don't forget that something as simple as just being aware of your surroundings
Ah,
can help to keep you
where
safe.
am I?
If you are leaving the building after dark, ask someone to walk with you or make sure someone watches you reach your vehicle safely. Always have your keys ready to allow quick entry into
Where are these Chuck E. Cheese locations where you can't even walk to your car?
Hanging dangerously from a light picture. Hey, Brad, is this on the poster? Am I good?
your vehicle. If you notice any suspicious activity, report it to your manager.
Someone's
When
acting
you are arriving to work, be
suspicious.
sure to lock your vehicle and take care that valuables are not left on display as temptation for a potential thief.
Why do you have to tell people this? Like, anyone who parks anywhere should know that you lock your car and don't leave, like, cash or iPods or cell phones or whatever on the fucking dash, right? Like, when you show up, you get out of your car, like everywhere else, lock that shit.
Yeah.
People won't steal it.
My dad always, and I still do it now. Well, not now because I don't have like an actual key for my car. But he'd always tell me that I needed to have my keys in between my fingers when I was walking to the.
Yeah, all these key fobs. How many people are getting murdered because they were getting saved by keys?
Yeah.
Where are those statistics, huh? It's a big key doesn't want you to know. Yeah, after this date in 2007, no incidents were reported at any Chuck E. Cheese ever.
CEC is not responsible for damage or theft of your vehicle or valuables inside.
I mean, why
Never open
would
locked
they?
doors after closing. Once the front door is locked for closing, it can only be opened by a manager. Trash should never be taken out after dark. You may be providing a potential
Don't do
situation
it. It's
for a
dark.
robbery to occur.
Do it tomorrow.
As you continue.
Yes, it's too late.
Can't you see out this window, honey?
Cindy,
It's dark.
did you read the? It says no. It's dark. It's late, Cindy. Get back to the dining room.
Your workday.
Yes,
Be
I
aware
left
of
my
potential
brooch and
hazards
armoire
such
full
as
of
spills,
Susan B.
objects on
Anthony
the
dogs on my
floor, or children
dashboard. Is
climbing
that
on games.
unadvised?
Also, be
Look at this little asshole. What's going on with that, man? It's like you're right there.
Be sure to only use equipment for which you've been properly trained. Some kitchen equipment requires you to be at least 18 years of age to operate or clean.
Luckily, the
Improper
taps
lifting
any
can
age.
also result in injury.
My back.
Remember to lift from the knees and ask for assistance if you need it.
I am so glad I don't have to hump a bunch of 30-pound soda syrup anymore. When I worked at Burger King, here's the thing. Sexual stereotypes exist, so all the ladies I worked with and all the jobs I've ever worked at made me do the heavy shit. I'm not physically fit. I'm not strong. But every time somebody needs a 5-gallon water jug put in a cooler, Dave, or anytime we were out of X number of super sugary syrups for our fucking dispenser, Dave. Bitch, like there were chicks rolling around packing 3 bills. I'm like, bitch, you're rolling with that much weight. You can lift up a box of soda. Okay? Hello, Sierra Mist just hit the scene. It's no longer slice.
If you or anyone else is injured in the workplace, report it immediately.
We already said
no matter
that.
how minor you may think it is.
Said the same
If you
thing.
have any questions concerning
Oh, they
any
got
of the
SDSs.
CEC-approved
They have to have an
chemicals,
SDS.
refer to the material safety data sheets or ask your manager.
No
If
one ever looks at
inclement weather
those.
such as tornadoes, winter storms, or hurricanes occur, know your store's procedures
hell?
for you and your guests.
Another
to
monthly
reach safety.
poster.
Whoa, that one's
In case of fire,
radical. Oh, look at
ensure
this
that you are
one.
aware of the
When I worked at Red Robin, we had a disgruntled employee switch all the hoses on the pops. There was a fruit punch coming out of Dr. Pepper, Pepsi coming out of Sprite. Took forever to fix.
That's not
Mass
a bad,
chaos.
like, low, just, I don't want to say low energy, because it's not low energy. Like, doing that probably took some time, but it's like a low destructive prank. I'm on board with that shit. Like, whatever. Like, they could have dunked their balls in the corn, but they just fucked around and put the fruit punch where the Dr. Pepper was. I can, whatever. It's totally
Did
fine.
you, when you were in high school, did the seniors do a prank on everybody else?
My high school was too small. We didn't do any of that shit.
When the seniors in one of my years I was there put laxatives in the ketchup in the cafeteria.
Man, that's the thing. Like, don't, whatever. Comedy movies have taught us that it's pretty safe to fuck around with the human body, but it's not. Like that movie that showed you to put Visine in water to make people shit themselves, it'll kill them. If you overdose someone with laxatives, you can kill them. Like, don't mess with people's body chemistry unless you unless you're a genius or you underdo it. So maybe like instead of someone blasting, their organs out of their asshole, they just have like a few extra loose stools and they're a little behind on their schedule. But even then, like, would that be worth it?
They did that one class did a bunch of shitty things. They let loose a bunch of mice from the science classes and also mice from like Petco, and like put them. There was a place in our high school that was 4 corners, and it was the busiest area of the school because during class changes it was super busy, and they just let a whole bunch of mice through, and everybody was obviously freaking out.
High school pranks here on the Chuck E. Cheese Show.
Know how to use them if necessary. First
Count
of all, pull the
Nailed
pin,
it.
Stand 8 to 10 feet away.
The wrestling midget.
Aim at the base of the fire.
Wrestling
and
midget.
spray with a continuous back and forth motion.
What wrestling midget?
I don't remember a wrestling midget. I remember
Well, there are more than one.
A wife who killed her husband. But like, that's the thing. The Visine, whatever. We've talked about this before on the show. I think poisoners are so like last century. It's so Victorian, but like there are still ladies out, and I say ladies because mostly poisoners are ladies, who will throw the antifreeze or the Visine into their so-and-so's drink and they die. But why is it that no one ever gets rid of the fucking jug? That woman who killed her husband and then was working through her daughters, like, they found antifreeze in his glass. There was a jug of antifreeze under his bed.
Well, the girl that I had just learned about who killed her friend, she put Visine in a water bottle and gave it to her. And
she probably thought, oh, this will be funny, diarrhea, and then she fucking murdered somebody.
Do you know where your emergency exits are in your location? If not, be sure to review them with your manager. There is also a sky tube evacuation plan located in the break area.
Got the schematics in the sky tube. Can't you see like a bunch of aliens running through there in polarizer, checking it out on some sort of low-res CRT?
Are removing guests from the tube.
Alberto Alejandro minutes.
You will need to review this to ensure
wrestling
we handle
midgets.
evacuation
That's
well.
crazy. I've not
In
heard
any
of that
emergency
case.
situation, think clearly, act quickly, and remain calm. Execute the emergency procedures for your location and follow your manager's instructions on keeping everyone safe. Now pause the DVD. Your manager will now explain your location-specific evacuation plan and where to meet outside.
Here's our sky tube. Everybody get in.
Jesus, guys.
We have a strict no-tolerance policy concerning drugs in the workplace.
Uh-oh.
StarCast members and managers are strictly prohibited from using, possessing, selling, or offering any controlled substance, including narcotics, drugs, or alcohol while on duty when conducting.
This is the video you decided to play under this audio?
She's looking for drugs behind the
CEC
napkin
business
holder.
And or while on CEC property. Cast members and managers.
Oh
are
yeah, that lady
prohibited
that
from
killed her
reporting
friend.
to
Yeah, it
work.
was intentional. She stole like $140,000 from this woman.
Fuck, man.
And she wanted to. Yeah, she claimed.
Like Pam Hupp did that. Like her friend was dying of cancer. She got like basically all of her money and robbed her kids blind, then killed her, and then blamed it on the husband who went to the fucking clink for like 15 years. Jesus.
Or from performing any work while impaired by or under the influence of a controlled substance.
Uh-oh.
If you
Guys.
Chuck E. Cheese shakedown.
We talked about discrimination earlier. What's going on?
suspect another cast member of violating these guidelines, tell your manager immediately.
All right, babes, I gotta go to bed. My job has a strict no tolerance policy for me showing up all sleepy peepee. Night, hell, cheese.
Weapons and violence is very
Night, Thomas.
simple. Neither will be tolerated from an employee,
It's just a random person
vendor,
cleaning up a
or
table.
guest.
Drugs are
Weapons
bad.
including guns, loaded or unloaded, knives, martial arts instruments, brass knuckles, and any instrument which would be considered threatening to the physical well-being
Including
and safety of
parking
our
lots. Don't put that stuff
are
in your car
strictly
either.
prohibited on CEC premise. While some state and local guidelines may permit concealed weapons to be carried by private citizens, CEC exercises its right to prohibit all weapons on its premise.
So there, bitches.
Right, but here's the thing. Like here's especially in Arizona when it was before you didn't need a concealed carry permit. You just people still do open carry, but now you don't even need the what is it? The
CCP?
No, it was concealed weapons something. Maybe CW, whatever. Moral of the story is like it's beholden to the person to be like, oh, I'm an honest person, and now you don't even have to be held accountable by taking even a class.
Yeah.
Like who's gonna be like, oh, Chuck E. Cheese, I can't have my weapon, and it's not allowed in the parking lot. Well, I guess we'll have to have this birthday party another day. No way.
Any threats of violence, both direct and indirect, should be reported to your manager.
Indirect
Report
violence.
all suspicious individuals or
Read a
activities.
Crudwell.
And
She
call
was the comptroller of
911
a small
if you
town in
believe
Dixon,
you
Illinois, and she embezzled $53 million over 25 years and used it to fund a horse breeding empire.
Yo, I do know about that. But only barely because I find it personally boring. I did see a thing about her and building the horse empire, and I was like, I don't know. Like, embezzling is, I get like whatever, it's a crime, but it feels so like, who gives a shit? Like, the fact that she was able to do it over 25 years means that like regulations weren't very tight, and it's like whatever. It's like another SVU related reference, but like when that corrupt cop was washing his vet while his Lambo or his Mercedes was parked in the garage, and he's making $30K a year. You go, something's up.
Yeah. This is questionable.
Or anyone
Like, if someone's paying $750,000 for a jug of horse jizz, you go, aren't you a comptroller?
Fosco says, not to get morbid, but have you mentioned the horrific case where a gunman killed the staff at Chuck E. Cheese?
No, I haven't seen that one either. We did talk
Jeez.
about the Superbikes murder recently, so there's that. Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Anyone
I'll
else
watch
is
it.
in
Why
immediate
not?
danger. Avoid confrontation if
Ugh,
a situation
it bothers me
occurs,
how
but
off
defend
the
yourself
text
or
is to
guess
the
if there is an
sign.
It's so
imminent
stupid.
threat
It's
of
like
physical
nobody
harm.
of any
Be sure
competence
to cooperate
made
with law
this.
enforcement and medical personnel that respond to help and
Like,
refer all
from video shooting to editing to like the graphics, it's all just like not good.
Let's play this again.
common sense and be
And Bew. Sorry, guys, internet
situation
connection.
occurs, but defend yourself or guess if there is an
That was in
imminent
Aurora?
threat of physical harm.
Aurora.
Be sure to
Oh,
cooperate
They
with
had
law
why they-
the
enforcement
theater
and
thing
medical
too. I'll be
personnel that
damned. This
respond
is
to
a
help
fucking
and refer
curse.
all
1993,
inquiries
so
from the
that's why they
media
had to
to
put
your
all this
manager.
shit in this.
In 2007, they were like, yeah, now's the time to do it.
Everyone in the
So
workplace.
solid 15 years
Use
later.
common sense and be aware of your surroundings at all times. If you have any
I mean, that's good advice anywhere. I'm always telling my kid to open your eyes and look where you are, because your head keeps bouncing off of shit.
questions, see your CEC Today handbook or ask your manager.
We hope that
He
none of these
takes after his
situations
mother.
happen to you, but please be prepared to handle any crisis as it may occur. Be safe, have fun. Now refer
Have a
to the
great
flip
Labor
chart to
Day.
review items
Get
in
out there
greater
on the
detail
lake.
with your manager. There are quite a few, so it might take a little while to go over.
Oh, boy.
Again, you will take a quiz after reviewing the flip chart. So press pause and good luck.
Doesn't it feel like we've had this end like 9 times?
Yeah, lots of pausing and reviewing.
Finally, let's get those appearances ready for some harassment.
Wow.
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 But those are things that you
We covered fun topics like alcohol abuse, sexual discrimination, harassment and abuse, possible weapons violations, and other fun topics.
Drugs.
Whoo! Now that that's all out of the way,
need to know in the workplace. Remember that we want to provide a workplace that is safe for everyone. Now, let's take a look at our appearance standards. As with any company, it's up to each of us to really make sure that we're in proper uniform on each and every shift.
basically.
At Chuck E. Cheese's, we feel it's important that we look our best for our guests. Your manager will review the appearance standards for management as well as cast members using the flip chart. Go ahead and pause the DVD.
Flip out that chart, motherfuckers. Let me get this. You gotta have a polo shirt, some
Did you notice
dark or
that cell phones
light
are
colored
not part
khaki
of your
pants.
uniform? Cell phones
No
are
pagers.
not allowed while at work and should be kept in the office, your purse, or
How am I
jacket.
gonna deal
If
drugs?
there is an emergency,
Oh
and
yeah, I'm old, and so of course I wear my fucking phone in a leather clip on my belt because I'm a lame ass motherfucker. That's all right, Ellen. Why don't you go put that in your locker? It's not your first goddamn day. And P.S. This was never ever cool.
someone needs to contact you immediately, please have them contact the store directly.
It's a sweet Nokia brick. High
Your
five, bitch.
appearance will make a lasting
Thanks for reminding me to take my phone off, fucker.
impression on each guest that you come in contact with. Therefore,
His mouth, the way he
manager on
talks,
duty
reminds me of
will
Trump.
Inspect your uniform daily
A little
to
bit.
ensure that it meets or exceeds.
Look at my name tag right here, Ruben. You motherfucker.
Accuracy.
Don't get at me with that, too.
You should always be neat and clean in accordance with generally accepted personal hygiene standards. For security reasons,
Sexually
absolutely
harassed.
no changing would be allowed.
These two
on
are begging
CEC
for it.
Property before or after your shift. You must arrive to the store in
It just feels like every time the camera, like, they call cut, it just feels like he goes, because there's like massive reservoirs in his mouth filling with spit. It just feels like he's always constantly holding it back, like it could come pouring out of his mouth at any second.
in full uniform. Take pride
Chucky's going to take a
in
bite
your
out of his neck
You never get a second chance
to make a first impression
with our guests.
Well, you're almost at the end.
I'm not clairvoyant,
There are
that's
a
just
few
a
more
lame
items to
thing to
cover.
say.
The first is our menu. Take a few moments to go up to the front order area to
Pizza.
look at the menu.
Oh, you
It's
have
a great time to
pineapple? Of
stretch as
course you
well.
do.
Your
You're not
manager will review it
fucking
with you.
idiots.
Secondly, we need to go over some of our company benefits. Review your
Cheese,
handbook, and if you have
pineapple,
any questions, make sure
pepperoni,
you ask your manager
olives.
or district manager to explain it to you.
Other benefits?
Lastly, let's talk about the training program. The key to training is what you put into it. I'm sure you've
Didn't
heard
we
it
just
saying
do
that
this?
You only get out of it what you put into it.
Like memories
Ask
and
a lot of
family.
questions. Get the info from your trainers. They are the pros, and they are here for you.
Oh,
Ah.
am I on? Oh, hey there.
Now that my
I'm
mouth's
just
working
getting ready for
again.
my next performance, and I can't seem to find my favorite shirt. Oh, there it is. Anyway, this has been a long orientation, but
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about the company. You can contact your manager.
No, what we've learned about is like the laws relating to like harassment, alcohol serving, tolerance, blood alcohol level. We've learned lots of biology. We learned a little Latin. I still am not sure how to work at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
Low life expectancy is one of their benefits. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yep.
District manager or the human
But
resources department
unlimited
at the
refills from
support
that
center
soda
if you
fountain.
have any questions or concerns. Now, do you remember
Health
the
insurance,
two
C
rules
benefits.
here at
See your
Chuck E.
trainer.
Cheese's? That's right. Every guest
What was the
leaves
question,
happy.
Chuck?
It doesn't
Have
matter.
fun while you work.
It's like when you're watching Blaze and the Monster Machines or Door or any one of those dumbass fucking shows that goes like, looks to camera and they go, hey, what number's more than 4? And then 30 seconds of silence tick by as your kid goes, what? And you go, huh? And you look down and no one's done anything. And then Blaze goes, 5! You're right!
It's all about making magic. So get out there and show them what you've got. I'm really glad you've
I'm
joined
going to
my
go back to
team.
Tommy Bahamas and pick up another one of these shirts. Texas, Washington, Georgia, you're all in our hearts. Look at all these
Look
great
at all the camera
contributors.
contributors.
Jesus Christ. No wonder it's like so shitty. There was no like consistency across it from the shaky cam and that Jason Bourne style shit to like, hot damn, guys. Well, there you go. Do you know how to work at Chuck E. Cheese now?
Nope.
I'd argue not.
I know
don't
how to
think-
just work, period.
I didn't learn how to make change, like take customer cash, serve a beer, make a pizza, or any of that stuff. I did learn that I should fulfill the desires and wishes of people and that it should always be my pleasure.
Have a magical day.
It's a magical day, Neil Breen.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's that. I hope you guys can get employed at Chuck E. Cheese now. And if you give them my employer code, I get like, a small, it's like pennies on the dollar. So, whatever. You don't want to help me out. You don't want to help me out, but whatever. Tell them Dervis sent you and they'll hook me up with a finder's fee.
An extra token.
Extra token every time I roll in there and say, hey, where's my tokens? They go, 5 tokens this month, Dave. And I go, you better believe it. I'm going to go play some skee ball.
Oh, I love skee
and have 1 beer before I drive home drunk and crash. My brass knuckles everywhere in my car. How do you cover for a lost child? I don't know. Probably have to put your shoes on your knees and walk around like Dorf. Pretend like you're them. Hopefully find some clothes in the lost and found that resemble their children's. What they were wearing when they came in, and then live the rest of your life as their child until, or if their original child is found. If not, it's going to be a long night for you, for the first one at least. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for coming and learning how to work at a Chuck E. Cheese. I appreciate it. In a couple of days, we'll have something else going on, so don't forget to come back, and we'll see you then. So, okay, now we're good to go. Bye.
Bye. News.
Bye.
for this. Try to.
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.